33-story hotel and condo project?
I'd probably be
okay,
like
like
that.
stop, tap.
This is a plan by the community for the community.
This one here. Show me.
No problem, Ken. Thanks for having me.
It's Kent Molgat for KelownaNow. And we're joined by Marina Johal from Scenic Cider. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought it would be nice to talk to you because we're seeing a real increase in the interest into craft cider around the Okanagan, around the province, around the whole Pacific Northwest. So tell us a little bit about your story, how you came to start up a craft cidery in Kelowna.
Okay, well, this is a career change for me. My husband and I bought a property in North Glenmore about 4.5 years ago. And with that property came an apple orchard. And our current business partners ran the orchard. So they were growing and selling the apples already. And as we watched them do their work, we found that there were a lot of apples left over. So we were selling, the AAA grade apples, and there were still apples that we could use for other things. So I was making pies and crisps and juicing.
And probably wasting
absolutely,
a lot.
Absolutely. So we invited our friends and family to come pick the first year. And then the second year we started juicing. And then by the third year we were making cider, as people had requested, why aren't you doing more with the property? You have the packing house, we have the ability, so.
And all of this going on at a time when people are saying, hey, cider isn't, it's actually a pretty sophisticated beverage.
Absolutely. And being so much in the wine industry here, there are other options for people now to have cider.
We hear so much about people coming here to go wine touring. Will there come a time when they come to go cider touring?
I think that's starting now. Now they have more like a specialty tour, so you can do like a distillery, brewery, or microbrewery, and a cidery. So they have that currently. And I think as more and more come online, you could probably do a tour, I'd say in the next year or two, of just cideries.
Right. Now, so you are, as much as the term craft is hard to define, you're a member of the BC Farm Craft Cider Association.
Correct.
And that means that you produce your cider according to very specific guidelines, that it's a very simple process?
Yes, so we're basically farm-based or land-based. So you have to grow your own apples and make the cider on the orchard.
Right. So full disclosure, my extended family is involved in the cider business as well, and also the wine business. And one of the things I observed that was really amazing was when my wife started running a winery, how much other wineries were there to help.
Absolutely.
When she was brand new to the business, she could just call these other people and say, oh, well, here's what you do, or let me direct you to there, or the equipment you need is this. Did you find the same thing as you're starting into this?
Absolutely. There's a cidery in Vernon, which is called BX Press. Missy there, she helped us immensely when we were getting started. And there are cideries in Summerland as well, and everyone has been very helpful.
But these are your competition. They should be trying to shut you down.
We certainly don't consider it competition. If you're going to BX Press, then you're likely to come see us. And if you're coming to see us, we will send you to the other cideries as well. The more options that you get to try, the more people will drink cider.
And if other craft cideries spring up over the next few years, it would probably only benefit you in that there's more you could put on a map if someone wanted to do a cider tour.
Absolutely, and now that we have BC Cider Week, we're able to bring all of us together. It's a little bit more difficult on a day-to-day basis to do a tour, but for those events, we're able to all come together so that you can taste all the different cideries.
Right. I've seen your website. Your branding looks so fun, and does that sort of express the personality of your group?
Yeah, we wanted to keep it kind of whimsical and light and colorful.
Right. Well, it looks great. Now, but I won't really know if it's great until I try some.
Absolutely. Well, let's get you some. So we have 3 options. What we'll do is we'll try the driest and the sweetest. So
okay.
You can get
Start with the dry?
Start with the dry.
So
it's actually called dry.
Tell me about the process. I did see the graphic that you have on your website. It's pretty much pick the apples, squish them, ferment them, bottle them, taste them.
From a simple perspective, yes, that's true. It's very similar to winemaking. So we press the apples, we ferment them, and we do a blend. So that's the difference with wine. Usually you do a single variety. With cider, it's very common to do multiple varieties.
Right.
So with the dry, for example, we probably have 10 to 12 different varieties of apples in here.
Now,
and about half of which are grown specifically for cider. So we call them cider apples or heirloom apples.
Right.
So they're not eating apples, and they could be crab apples as well. Which
and they tend to be a little more bitter if you did eat one of these
bitter,
apples.
and they have the tannins, so you're a bit more full-bodied flavor.
So when I'm tasting cider, am I starting like with wine and maybe smelling it first?
You could.
Or do you just go, come on?
Yeah, we're not that fancy.
Sorry.
But you will get.
I am enjoying smelling it. That's okay, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people say it doesn't really smell like an apple, which is true. You're fermenting most of the sugar out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we carbonate all of our ciders. So that adds a little bit to the flavor.
Right. It's very nice. Very well. It's cider, so it compared to wine, it's crisp and very clean tasting. And there is, I don't want to get too technical, but I'm seeing I'm getting quite a flavor profile. It sort of seems like you probably have harvested the apples pretty late, like let them ripen on the tree.
Yes.
It's coming through. I like that.
Yeah, we try and do everything fresh in season. And as I said, there's a blend of 10 to 12 different varieties. So both dessert apples, eating apples, and apples that are grown for cider, and crab apples.
And that's, what percent alcohol? 6?
It'll range between 6 to 7. This one's usually 6.5 or more.
So that's something to be cautious about. You don't want to be knocking too many of these back, right? Enjoy them for the high quality cider that they are. So I guess I need to drink the whole thing to make room for the next one.
Yes, I guess so.
So just talk for a minute here. But tell me about the process. Is it all done right on site?
Everything but the pressing we do on site. So when our apples are picked, they're gone, they go to distribution, so they're sorted for selling, and then at that time they're pressed and then sent back to us. So it's just about 10 minutes away from where we are.
Okay, and then back it comes, and then
we do the rest of the process on site. So we ferment, we do all the blending, we carbonate, and then bottle, which is still quite a manual process for us.
So that's the dry, very nice. It didn't seem overly dry. I found it so. And this one you call nearly dry, so it's not a huge leap.
I skipped right past the nearly dry.
Okay.
It'll be similar to the dry. There'll just be more of the dessert apples. So it'll be a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter.
Right. No, that's good.
More
because
middle of the road.
We want to keep these to about 10 minutes, so that's good. We'll skip to because this is quite a departure. And this, we're taking in some raspberries from the Fraser Valley.
Yes. So it's just 10%.
I'm going to smell it first.
Raspberries. You'll definitely get the raspberries.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's raspberries. I said strawberries. Okay.
Oh, you said raspberries.
Did I? Okay. Anyhow.
But funny, it does actually smell like strawberries sometimes.
Well, that's just delightful. So,
that will definitely be sweeter to balance out the tartness of the raspberries, but you're not getting a lot of the sweetness because...
Yeah, it's balanced. So that's great. Now, you mentioned BC Cider Week. This seems like a really good opportunity for someone who thinks they're really enjoying all of these different new cideries that are happening. Some right around Kelowna, Vernon, around BC. Some of them are coming together for some events. You're involved in those? Or?
Yes, so we've been involved from the beginning of BC Cider Week, which was 2 years ago, which they had in the fall. And we hosted one of the events, which we call Appaloosa. And this year, they moved it to the spring. Actually, last year they moved it to the spring. So they'll continue having Cider Week in the spring. And there'll be 2 events at the beginning of the week and 2 events at the end. And there's one in Victoria and one in Vancouver at the beginning of the week.
Okay.
And then we're at the end, at the second week. And then the first week we'll be here for 2 events.
And the 2 events, there's one that involves bacon.
Yes,
Are you
bacon
in that
and
one?
cider, yes.
The bacon
so that'll
and
be
cider.
on the first day.
Is that a good pairing?
What could be a bad pairing with bacon?
People have like applesauce with pork chops, so I guess.
I think that's probably where it stemmed from.
So there's that.
So that will be our first year attending that event.
And that one is on, do you know what date that is? That's April the
27th, I believe.
And then on the 28th?
28th we'll be going up to Wards, up at the View.
Right, and that is the Okanagan Cider Festival.
Correct.
An afternoon event. So yeah, what a great chance to compare what is the cider tasting like done by a little crafty business, and there'll be some of the bigger players there, and you can kind of say,
and
well,
just
what
trying
do I
the
like?
different blends that people are putting together. It's a great opportunity because, as I said, it's difficult to do a tour because we're spread out all over BC. So this
Right.
is the one time where we all come together.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in here. Marina Johal from
Thank you
Scenic
very
Road
much.
Cidery. And you're watching Kelowna Now.